Hello and welcome to Sangoma Society. Today I'm sharing with you a conversation that I had with Mo Flavor and Kuzo Teledi on Wake Up on MetroFM, relating to what an ancestral calling is. Ukuthi yini ukugulela idlozi. Ngingumakhosi uNomabuta. This is Sangoma Society, and I hope that you enjoy this conversation.
Our show today with a very fascinating conversation, one of my favorite general conversations, even off air. What exactly is an ancestral calling? And what does it mean? And who's calling you? And how do you know you're being called and summoned, okay? And what processes then do you follow from that point? And also, what are some of the misconceptions around ancestral callings? If you have an experience and you can connect and relate, send us your voice notes, 060-552-7303. Maybe you had a calling and you've had to undergo some sort of spiritual journey from that point. Joining us on the line to help us navigate this conversation, we're joined by Umakhosi Nomabuto, a.k.a. Hani Makwakwa. Good morning, Thokoza.
Thokoza gogo.
Makhosi ninjani?
No, siphile kahle wena.
Siphilile kakhulu.
Siyabonga. A calling. What exactly is an ancestral calling?
An ancestral calling is essentially when you have made your agreement with the forebearers of your bloodline that when you are born into their bloodline, you will serve their bloodline through healing and allowing them to heal through you. I think the biggest misconception is the belief that a calling, even the word calling, it's ingrained with the same misconception. The idea that it is the ancestors who are approaching you, when in fact it's just time for you to honor an agreement that you in fact proposed when you approached the ancestors, asking them for passage into the earthly realm through their bloodline.
Yeah, that is an interesting point that you're raising there because, you know, and as you said, you know, you talk about the misconceptions around calling because, you know, who's calling you? And I'm glad that you've presented this perspective in terms of the idea. So then what do we say then? If we don't say a calling, then what do we say?
That's the truth of the matter. You are in a place of unwellness and imbalance because you have a commitment agreement. They begin to make their presence felt in your body. They've always been there, but they've been waiting for you to get to that place where you can actually conceive and process what it is that the rites and rituals are that you have to pass through in order to facilitate for them to work through your body. So
Sure. Thokoza gogo, Kuzo here. So with everything that you're mentioning now, me Kuzo Teledi, how do I then know that I have identified with what is meant for me, what I am proposed, or what has been proposed, or what I'm proposing to my ancestors of what I need to do in the spiritual realm? How do I identify it?
There are so many symptoms that one could experience that relate to an ancestral calling. And it's really not something that you want to speculate about. It's not something that is a one-size-fits-all because the people who are calling you are the forebearers of your bloodline, the blood of your blood. They are people who used to live, who are now living spiritually through you. Those people themselves have an individual way of communicating. The best thing that you could possibly do is, first of all, take it very seriously, and second of all, begin to build a relationship with your ancestors. But don't jump the gun. Don't start doing things that are above your pay grade. Understand where you are. Respect this thing because it is the most beautiful thing that you could possibly encounter in life. So respect it, talk it, and then seek guidance. I believe honestly that there are healers who can truly guide you in this process in terms of just coming to terms with that understanding of your ancestral calling. At Sangoma Society, we offer a completely free course just about how to process the understanding of the ancestral calling. That's called Answers from Our Ancestors, because there's a lot of understanding that is required before you even begin now the part where you actually start honoring the rites and rituals, which is Ubutwasa. And you can only go in Twasa when you know and understand what it is that you're embarking on. And also when your ancestors have shown you exactly where to go, and you have the conviction within yourself to begin that journey and see it through, because it's not an easy journey.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about ancestral callings. It's basically an appointment that you made, and now your ancestors are reminding you about that commitment. Umakosi Nomabuto, aka Hani Makwakwa, joins us to navigate this conversation with us. Let's take from that point of the journey of Ugutwasa. I mean, there's many things involved. There's issues around age, and people are too young or too old. I mean, how does that work? Is there a particular time in your life that these sort of messages start coming through, and this level of connection? And how do we interpret that in terms of understanding this journey?
Firstly, we have to understand Amazozi our family. So our individual journeys, when our time is called, it's our time. Our ancestors have been waiting. We now, in retrospect, it's like, when I was 16, I could have actually started this journey. When this was going on, it was signal. But because we didn't have the understanding or anything, it happened later. So there is, I really can't say that I believe that there is something as too young. Of course, it's painful for us as people to see a very young person undergoing these processes. But at the end of the day, Ubutwasa is not a lifestyle. Intwaso is a treatment. You are being treated for Ungulo. Once you have undergone that treatment, you are now in a place where you are able to live harmoniously in your body. So that healing, when it's called for you to receive that healing, I think there can't be a timeline on that. And there is no too old. It is honestly, we learn for as long as we are living. Noma usithwasile izozi lisazolawula, usazolithoba ezlozini. So when it comes to the other end of the spectrum, I believe as long as you're still living, you can still learn, you can still honor these agreements, because the unfortunate truth is that Amazozi live in a place where there is no space-time continuum.
Sure.
Your elderliness does not matter. Mawela lezayintada zokugcina ufika kubo, they will be asking you why it is that you didn't hold up your end of the bargain that you made for them to give you the life that you have today.
Sure. Gogo, listening to you right now, maybe, for example, there is 4 of us in the family, 4 siblings. Maybe if there is a thing of one getting the calling from Badimu, but maybe another, can there be more than one person in a particular family, let's say of siblings, that get this calling from Badimu, or is there only always one person representing the clan or the family name?
Now, of course, there can be as many as you can imagine. Umuntu nomuntu unedlozi lakhe elibhekane naye. You understand? We individually have asked for our lives individually. So we made individual agreements. Omunye uvumele ukuthi uyovusa umuzi, omunye uvumele ukuthi uyoletha imfundo ekhaya, omunye uvumele ukuthi uyoba yinjabulo phezu ekhaya, omunye abanye mhlawumbe ngathola ukuthi bathe, yes, I will work for you in this way, in order for me to be reunited with those people there, or in order for me to complete a certain karmic cycle, in order for me to heal something in my soul, which is of God, but which I have not been able to heal in other lifetimes. So I'm asking for these particular circumstances to be presented as the circumstances which will heal my journey. So it's now there are more than one person in a family who have a calling. We have to understand ukuthi asifani. And the amadoda ethu, yes, we have the same bloodline. Kodwa umuntu nomuntu unedlozi lakhe. Umuntu nomuntu makabhekane neqiniso ledlozi lakhe. Alikho idlozi elifikayo elingayothwaswa. Angeke uthi usebenza ngalo and you haven't done izimfanelo zedlozi. These things are what we call spiritual bypassing. When we say, oh, but there is somebody who's already answered that calling. That is spiritual bypassing. Let's not look for shortcuts. Let's not try to cut the story into something that is not.
Yeah. Wow. Such a powerful conversation and quite compelling. As we started this conversation, ancestral callings and having to honor your agreement with your ancestors. That is how we have understood the idea, and that's how we've been able to navigate that conversation with the eloquence of Umakhosi Nomabuto, aka Hani Makwako. We appreciate your time, Thokoza, and we hope that if you're listening in, this has been a conversation that has connected with you on so many levels.
I hope that you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. Ngingumakhosi Unomabuto. This is Sangoma Society, where we demystify the ancestral. To enroll into Answers from Our Ancestors, absolutely free, you can click the link in the description box below. It's a 12-part course to help you figure this out. Until next time, kukhanye.